you can see, I am not Tony Romo here at Ojos Locos Sports Cantina in downtown Fort Worth. Tony is probably someplace else drowning his sorrows. Instead, I'm just Mac Engel, columnist of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, here to drown our sorrows in the loss, in the catch that was a catch, that wasn't a catch, but ultimately what was a great season that is no more. The Dallas Cowboys are done. First of all, it's really important to tell you that beginning with this video, we are not going to belabor the Dez Bryant catch situation in Green Bay, although we totally caught it. We're not going to hammer that in. It's no more. It's time to move forward. Not going to look in the rearview mirror. No more. He caught the ball. It's what it is. We're not going to belabor that point. Now, whether or not Dez Bryant should be the priority over DeMarco Murray in terms of the Dallas Cowboys' priority free agents, Dez is the one you have to keep happy. DeMarco plays a position that unfortunately has turned into the NFL equivalent of diapers. DeMarco Murray needs to get a big contract. This is his only shot at a big contract, and someone is going to pay him money. That someone will not be the Dallas Cowboys. That means Jerry Jones has to look at how much does he pay Dez Bryant. Chances are good the Dallas Cowboys are going to slap the franchise tag on Dez Bryant, and then they're going to give him a long-term extension. Dez is not going to be happy about the franchise tag. It's not going to last forever. They're going to make him happy. They're going to give him more money than he possibly count, although I'd love that challenge. And again, it's really important to belabor this point. He caught the ball. No way are the Dallas Cowboys going to repeat what they did in 2014 and do it again in 2015. The sequel is never as good as the original. Now, back in August, nobody in their right mind, or even not in their right mind, by the way, real quick, Dez Bryant caught that ball. But anyways, no one thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to go 12-4 in the regular season, win the NFC East, host a home field playoff game, win a playoff game, and then barely lose to the Green Bay Packers. By the way, Dez caught that ball. And almost get to the NFC Championship game. No one thought that was possible. Now that they've done it, against all odds, can they do it again? The Dallas Cowboys caught a lot of breaks in 2014, beginning with the fact they were healthy almost entirely throughout the regular season. Bottom line is, the only way the Cowboys are going to get any better is if they get significant players defensively on their front seven. Offensively, they're good to go. Dez is good. Tony Romo still looks like he's pretty good. Jason Witten probably has another year. The offensive line is terrific. But if they don't get better players on their front seven defensively, they'll be really lucky to go 12-4 again. Everybody's going to be gunning for them because the Cowboys are back. But to say they're going to repeat all of it, that's a bit much. But they can get back to the playoffs, and the difference is maybe this time they can do even more than they did previously. By the way, real quick, Dez caught that ball. There is another player we're not really talking about enough about whether or not the Cowboys are going to bring him back. Real quick, before I forget, Dez caught the ball. Rolando McClain was a guy the Cowboys signed last year, literally off the street, to maybe somehow give that linebacking core some help. The guy turned out to be arguably their best defensive player. But there are major red flags about him, not necessarily whether he can play, not necessarily whether or not he cares, but can he stay healthy? He had little nagging injuries from time to time. Those nagging injuries essentially kept him out of the playoffs. And when he didn't play against the Packers, they missed him. Question now is whether or not the Cowboys give him real money. Somebody's going to pay him because he can play. He needs the money. He wants to play. He demonstrated that whatever concerns about his interest level are no more. The guy wants it. But can the Cowboys commit a lot of money to a guy who hasn't demonstrated he can stay healthy? I'd pay him. Jerry's going to give him money. It's just a question of whether or not it's crazy Jerry money. Real quick, before I forget, Dez caught the ball. And they should bring back Rolando McClain, definitely. No player entering this season for the Dallas Cowboys had bigger question marks literally on his back than Tony Romo. He demonstrated some things that he had never done before previously, but the most impressive thing that Mr. Romo did was that he was healthy, despite the fact that he had 2 back surgeries in 2013. He missed one game, and he ended up playing the best football of his life. He won a playoff game, and all of the kinds of maddening, hair-pulling mistakes that he used to make were no more. The Dallas Cowboys won 13 games largely because Tony Romo was so good. He's going to be 35 pretty soon. Can he do it again? Yes. The question is, will his back allow him to? And before I almost forgot. God, I almost forgot. I'm terrible at this. Dez caught that ball. Tony Romo did change the way we look at him, but he has yet to get to an NFC Championship game, and he obviously has not reached that Super Bowl yet. Changed a lot of perceptions about him, the way we look at him, but there is still work to be done. He knows it. There's still an opportunity there, but that window is only about that big. But Dez caught that ball. This time a year ago, roughly give or take, the Dallas Cowboys really wanted a certain Texas A&M quarterback. Thank God they never touched Johnny Manziel, who looks like he is a train wreck disaster waiting to happen or continuing to happen. Instead, they went with probably the most boring pick of the entire first round in guard Zach Martin, who was an all-pro as a rookie. That's unheard of. Can they do that again? Now, the Cowboys are drafting in the late 20s this time. They're probably not going to get a Zach Martin. What they desperately need, though, they've got to get somebody, either a good linebacker or a good defensive lineman who can make a difference. DeMarcus Lawrence was a rookie last year. He did make some plays there at the end. He'd been hurt quite a bit. They need to find another DeMarcus Lawrence type to make the type of impact that Zach Martin did this season. If they find that, that's a huge if, they're in great shape. But we know this, a Jason Garrett draft room is much better than a Jerry Jones draft room. So we should feel good about that, just as good as we feel when we say Dez Bryant caught that football. Well, thank you very much for joining me here at Ojos Locos Sports Cantina in downtown Fort Worth. We've learned a lot of things here today. Namely, we learned that Dez caught the football. Remember, 2 hands around a ball and 3 steps. Generally, as a rule of thumb, that is a football move and a catch. Please join me next week after I go over sports science of what it takes not to be a football move and a football catch. Dude, Dez caught the football. What more do you need? He caught the ball.